Hello and welcome in. This is Balanced Existence, which is a community of like-minded but also open-minded individuals committed to bettering themselves in all facets of life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. If these messages resonate with you, I believe that you are meant to be in this community for however long they resonate. And I trust that if you've clicked in and you are here, that there is something here for you. So what I want to talk about today is something I channeled recently, which is about two key parts of the creative process. Like, you can't have these without creativity, and you can't have creativity without these. And that is authenticity and abundance. And I feel that authenticity is something that's collectively a big priority, maybe even generationally. I feel like in future generations, like, authenticity is becoming more and more of something that people look for. And so this idea that you can be your own sovereign being and be enough and be successful and just thrive and feel good is this freedom that we're all stepping into as a collective. And it's very much linked to self-worth. And I think the beauty of applying this in the creative process is, like, what a beautiful opportunity it is to create something that embodies our authentic self. Like, that's not a privilege. That's our right. We just have to do it. In my last video, I talked about kind of like the discipline required to, kind of like with your routines, to make it a priority, to take time to work on your creative projects. And in videos before that, I also go into this concept of like of discerning when you need consistency and when you need to take a pause and reflect on your plans. But ultimately, when you've gotten to this point of, okay, it's time for me to take action, there requires some kind of organization in your routines that allows you to, reduce the resistance to build that habit of practicing that creative flow state. So, I also was brought to my attention, like in this download, the concept of school and how, I was saying before about self-worth and how being authentic is very much linked to self-worth. And, I think that the school system is a great fit for many people out there, and it serves them well. And for others, it's not. And if you're a creative person, an empath, you are likely feeling like you don't feel like the school system benefited you. And if you think about it, when you're in the school system, you have to complete assignments to a certain standard, right? Whether it's that professor's preference, or whether it's just like the basic rules of, the academic world. Like, format your papers in this way, or, even just like the rules of like complete this math problem in this way, like the very like rational, like logic rules, right? That there's not really room for that like creative space. Like, it's kind of like more structured and like firm. So you have to complete assignments to a certain standard. And you're kind of living in this paradigm. I don't want to say it's like a matrix, but you may view it that way, where you're basically living in this world, especially when you're a child and you don't really know any different. You're living in this world where success in the academic world is the ultimate level of intelligence. Like if you thrive in school, if you're book smart, then that is success, right? And then it chips away at your self-worth if there are aspects of school that you are not especially skilled at, or if they don't come natural to you. You are made to feel that you just don't match up to these expectations, and therefore you are worth less as a person. If this resonates with you and you've related to this, like, please let me know in the comments. I've said in other previous videos that I really want this to be a community where we can speak openly on these topics. I'd love to hear your feedback, hear what resonates, hear what you'd like to talk and hear more about on this channel. So please make yourself at home and let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling about all of this. But this concept of when you have somebody who thrives in creativity and is an artist in some way, unless they're taking a literal art class or creative writing class in school, which even then, you're still in the structure, in that you're still kind of, sometimes you can be stuck in the box of what the teacher expects of you, right? So anyway, but for those who are creative or artists, when you're doing this in the academic setting, you're missing out on the true, what a treasure it truly is to practice that creative flow state, to embody that creativity. And the fact that, we spend our days in school and then we go work somewhere. And I think especially generationally, this is changing. This is not the path that everyone is aspiring to do. I mean, I think at least through high school is still very much the norm. I think in the future, generations will be homeschooling a lot more so that they have more flexibility. I think that school, I really believe that there will be a revolution in the way that the school system operates. But that's another tangent. And what I really want to get at here is that it takes this intentional effort to escape the school system and become, or the work system, if you work a normal day-to-day job that doesn't where you work for somebody else and you don't have full creative power or authority. I just want to bring to light this message that I got, which was that you really have to be empowered yourself and take accountability for your creative flow. It's your creative energy. It's your source energy. And you have to find a place that you can express it. You have to find an outlet for yourself, because school and the day-to-day basic, the everyday basic job will not do that for you. It will not provide you that outlet. And this is just one of the most important things in life, is to create. And the fact that if you go through the normal motions of life that are what the majority of people go through, you're not going to get that opportunity. That is just the reality of the world that we live in. Is if you just follow the status quo, you're not going to have that beautiful abundance of creative expression. You're not going to find that treasure. You have to go your own path and make the time for it and do it in your way that's authentic. And that is just so important. Like, it's just such a key to life that a lot of people, they find out later in life, or they may not find out at all, and they don't understand what they're missing in life, but they feel unfulfilled just following those normal steps of school and work. So whether you're in a place where this is like hitting you hard and you're realizing, oh my gosh, I really need to, figure out what my creative passion is. And like, this doesn't have to be a job. It can be anything that brings you joy and gives you a space to express yourself creatively. It could just be like doing a coloring book every now and then. It could be creating a full business. It could be any number of things. And intuitively deep down, if you clear the space, if you clear the noise, and you really, get, you really access that inner depth of yourself to listen to hear your intuition and know what it is that you're meant to be doing. And it can change over time too. I mean, it can your journey can ebb and flow. You may be working on one creative project for a couple years and then do something else, but if it should be on the forefront of your mind, because it's such a key to life. And it's going to require you to be authentic, to really follow your creative passions to the fullest extent. And it's going to require, and being an authentic person in general requires you to also be somebody who is creating. And that is the absolute key that I want to drive home in this video. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was abundance, which I think I'm going to carry this on to another video because I feel like there's so much to be said about abundance. So I'm going to make this a part 2, and I want to just talk about how much abundance is in existence everywhere. Love, abundance, like it is what we are made of, and yet we forget. It is the natural side effect, or it is just the natural essence of being a human being that we forget this. We have an ego, we have minds that are often putting us in survival mode due to just like basic evolutionary or biological reasons. But truly tapping into our spirit and noticing the abundance around us is key, and I really want to go into that more. So the take home today that I was like when I was walking in nature, as I usually am when I get these channeled downloads, is that how important it is. Like the angels were just like trying to like shout this from the rooftops, if you will, that it is so important that we take time to do creative hobbies, passions, careers, however you want to label it. It doesn't matter if it fits into this greater societal standard. In fact, most of the time it won't. But the beauty of it is that you are channeling your inner essence by doing these creative hobbies, passions, or careers. Just the act of being in that creative flow state, which I talk about a lot on this channel. It's something that I just feel like there's been this like collective, I want to say like a whirlwind or like an uptick in energy, in creative energy. And it's going to be really important, like as individuals, for us to know how to handle and channel that energy. I think, as you may know, like the world is undergoing, like planet Earth is undergoing an ascension of just like heightened energy. It has been for several years. And so like by that same nature, there is like this kind of like increasingly vibrating energy. That's kind of like what the ascension is, but it's also especially in the area of creative energy, which from individual to individual, it is our responsibility to channel it And through that channeled work, that creative work that we do, I talked about this in a previous video, through that channeled creative work that we do, when we put that out into the world, we are contributing to the world's evolution. We are contributing to raising the frequency of the earth through our creative work. So that is the message I have today. I hope this resonated. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts, feedback. If you listened all the way through, drop your favorite colored heart emoji, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.